I was supposed to review this, and now I feel really bad that I forgot about it. So, we wouldn't have this album, No Fun Mondays, if it wasn't for the coronavirus pandemic. I know that seems a little weird to say, but this album was made out of boredom by Green Day lead singer Billie Joe Armstrong, where he's doing a bunch of covers of his favorite songs. And I do think that Trey Cole and Mike Dirnt have something to do with this record, just a little bit, with like the covers and the instrumentation you hear on here for the most part. But it's seen as a Billie Joe Armstrong album, and like I said, it's an album full of covers, and doing albums like this is always very hard to pinpoint and rate and whatnot, because you gotta look at the original version and this version, and you gotta basically see which one's good, see which one's bad, or just, didn't really change it that much. The only songs I knew myself on here, and I don't know if this just is because I'm not, older than most people, but I knew the songs, I Think We're Alone Now, and Kids in America. Kids in America mainly because it was on the Jimmy Neutron movie back in the day, and I Think We're Alone Now, at some point in time, you've heard that song somewhere, and I will say the original version does have a little catchy guitar lick. So, for the most part, I went in listening to these songs in particular without even knowing what the original sounded like, which I decided to basically base those off of how does this sound with Billie Joe Armstrong singing it. I didn't necessarily go back and listen to the original songs, but I just went off my enjoyment of how Billie Joe Armstrong did it. So, yeah, there wasn't much that I saw myself not liking. I think the two that I really didn't like were That Thing You Do and A New England. They did their job, I think, but for the most part, I don't know, I was the least entertained by those two tracks in particular. Then we have the okay tracks, Manic Monday. I do like the fact that it plays off the No Fun Monday thing. As a matter of fact, I like to call this one its technical title track. We have Amico, which is actually, I think, sang in full Spanish, so good on Billie Joe Armstrong. And that's not the reason it's in my okay. I don't know Spanish, but, I felt like the rhythm of it was going well, and I feel like it could be catchy enough that you'll remember some things from it, so he had that going for him. You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory, which is more acoustic and whatever, and I felt like, Billie Joe Armstrong's done it a lot better with Green Day in particular, so it wasn't that great, but it was good enough to enjoy me. That's Rock and Roll, which, I'm fine with. It was a more punky aspect. And then Whole Wide World, which leads the rest is my favorite. I Think We're Alone Now. Perfect one to kick it off with. It's 2 minutes and 15 seconds, so a little shorter than the original version, I believe, but it's still catchy as hell, even when Billie Joe Armstrong does it. War Stories, Corpus Christi, Kids in America, obviously still a good one. Not That Way Anymore. Gimme Some Truth, which is basically one of the songs that he covered that basically goes after politicians and basically saying, look, I'm tired of the bullshit, just give me some truth in something so that way we know what's going on, because it doesn't matter the politician. They don't really tell the truth most of the time because they want to keep it as confidential as possible, but, you're supposed to tell the people that you're I don't want to say running, but you're a president of a country. You can at least inform the people that you're in charge of what's going on, and they don't do that ever. So, yeah. And then Police on My Back was just a fun, catchy track. Whether you like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing at the beginning, it's fun. It really is. And for a covers album, I was actually kind of expecting Billie Joe Armstrong to stray away from the punk here, but it's present in a lot of these tracks, which leads me to, like I said, which led me to think that maybe Mike Dirnt and Trey Cole still had something to do with this, because I've heard Billie Joe Armstrong's other solo stuff before, and he doesn't really go punk with it. He tries other things, but there were some songs that didn't have punk elements, but for the most part, that's what it was. It felt like Green Day just ripping off a bunch of covers, and you know what? That I seem to be fine with in this case. I felt like they did their job of what they wanted to do, what they wanted to convey, and in the end, we get a nice, enjoyable covers record. Again, cover records are always hard for me to rate because it could be my least favorite in the fact that I like the original song and not the cover that much, or I just don't think the cover or the regular song is that good to begin with, or it could be opposite where I absolutely hate the original version, but somehow, some way, the artist was able to flip it on me with their cover of the song. There's plenty of songs that are like that for me. With this record, like I said, other than 2 songs, the other 12 songs I had no idea what they sounded like originally, so I felt like, I needed to just go into it acting like this is an album of Billie Joe Armstrong material while still thinking, what would the original version sound like in this case? And I may go back and listen to some original versions of these songs just to kind of get an idea, but my enjoyment level with this thing, honestly, was an 8 out of 10. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that I disliked, and even the ones I did, I still think have the potential of growing on me in the future, but this was just made out of boredom and for fun by Billie Joe Armstrong during, the coronavirus lockdown and whatnot. So, in the end, I mean, it does its job for what it needs to do. It's supposed to be entertaining, and it just continues the busy year for Billie and the guys because now, they had Father of All Motherfuckers drop in February. They had, well, at least Billie Joe Armstrong had this. And then the Network, which if you don't know is a Green Day side project, they'll tell you they're not Green Day, but I beg to differ, just had an EP out, and they're set to release an album this Friday, which I will be reviewing, so they're keeping up the busy year, and they don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So, yeah, you can tell me in the comments below, what are your favorite, I should say, covers from this record, because even though they are songs, they're not original songs. So what are your favorite covers from this record? What are your least favorite covers? What is one cover that just didn't resonate like the others did for you on this record, if you've heard it? But, yeah, until then, stay safe out there, wear your mask, and I will catch you all in the next one.